The way we travel all over the world and the way we carry over 100 tons of cargo would be very different if we didn't have the use of airplanes. Over 100 years ago, two men made a big difference in the world by inventing the airplane. While I have never been in the airplane, my husband got the opportunity to be in one in a recreational activity known as skydiving. The Wright brothers worked hard to build this airplane, to build a very successful airplane. Today I'm going to tell you a little about how the Wright brothers invented a successful airplane and some of the ways the airplane has changed the world. By 1896, Orville and Wilbur Wright became interested in gliding experiments after the death of a very popular gliding pilot. They decided to educate themselves in the theory and art of flying. The theories of aerodynamics were already known, and the internal combustion engine was already developed. So they started designing and testing different models and gliders for their airplane. They discovered, though, that shifting their bodies to control the plane would be ineffective. They would have better control the plane by moving its wings. Their first device, which they tested at Kitty Hawk, failed due to insufficient lift. The Wright brothers built a wind tunnel and tested over 200 different models of wings to measure lift and drag to find a sufficient design. They then built another glider and in 1902 returned to Kitty Hawk. The Wright brothers made over 1,000 gliding flights and determined that they had a successful model. Having learned to build and control a successful frame, they then decided to add power to the device. They built their own engine that had 12 horsepower and 4 cylinders. Adding it to their machine, the airplane in total weighed 750 pounds and traveled 31 miles per hour. The Wright brothers took their new airplane to Kitty Hawk once again, and on December 17, 1903, made the world's first manned-powered flight. The first flight lasted only 12 seconds and flew 120 feet, but the second flight that happened on the same day lasted 59 seconds and traveled 852 feet. In 1906, the Wright brothers received a patent for their first flying machine known as the airplane. Now that I've told you about the Wright brothers inventing the airplane, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we use airplanes in the world today, thanks to the Wright brothers inventing it. Airplanes are used for the majority of major travel in the world today, and for some recreational activities as well. There are big commercial airplanes that hold between 100 to 300 people, small airplanes that carry 5 to 10 people, and then the really small 1 or 2 manned airplanes. The military uses the airplanes to carry our troops, carry military equipment, and also uses them in the war. People use airplanes to go long distances in a short amount of time, so it's very convenient for them. The airplane is also used for some recreational activities like skydiving. It's a very popular activity that people like to do. My husband skydives, like I mentioned earlier, and hopefully sometime soon I will be able to do that as well. Airplanes are used to transport cargo. The military uses airplanes to carry military equipment and for fighting. And I just repeated myself. They are used for dusting crops and putting out large fires. Airplanes are also used for the air shows, demonstrating tricks and how advanced our airplanes are today. With the Wright brothers' invention, we have the ability to explore space too, because some of our ships launch off on the back of the really large airplanes. And today we have talked about how the Wright brothers have invented the airplane and how the airplane has affected the world today. Without the airplane, things would be more difficult. So next time you're on an airplane or you see one, just think about how it's benefited you and also how it's benefited the world and what a difference it's made. Thank you.